Good morning, America. For our viewers in the West, China strikes back against President Trump's tariffs, sweeping changes across the federal government, and Super Bowl week kicks off. Breaking overnight, China retaliates with counter tariffs on select U.S. goods after President Trump paused his threat to impose sweeping tariffs on Canada and Mexico. What it all means for businesses and consumers and potential rising prices.
Also new overnight, President Trump takes steps to gut the Department of Education. Big questions about Elon Musk's role, the world's richest man with billions in government contracts, seizing control of parts of the government.
Breaking new details on the deadly plane crash in Washington, D.C. Investigators set to release data from the final moments before the collision. And the latest on the Philadelphia plane crash as we hear from the family of a 10-year-old boy seriously injured by flying debris.
New lawsuit from the family of the young man who says he died from an asthma attack after the price of his inhaler went from $66 a month to over $500, what his parents are saying this morning.
ABC News exclusive, emotional reunion.
How you feeling?
Between the man who was pushed onto the subway tracks on New Year's Eve and the first responders who rescued him. His message to the people who saved his life.
Blake Lively versus Justin Baldoni. The legal battle between the It Ends With Us co-stars finally in the courtroom.
New ice storm set to cause trouble from the Midwest to the Northeast. Ginger here with the track and timing.
Opening night at the Super Bowl.
It's win or go home.
The Eagles and Chiefs meet the media in New Orleans as they gear up for the big game.
People hate the Chiefs? I didn't know that.
And from football to football, an exclusive look at the new ad with the Ted Lasso star.
Live from Times Square, it's Tuesday. Good morning, America.
Let's go, because New Orleans gearing up for Super Bowl Sunday. This morning we're counting down to the big game, and that is ahead.
I'm gearing up to eat some nachos on Sunday. I think I'm most looking forward to that. Also, speaking of food, you might have heard of fuel surcharges when gas prices go up. Well, now a popular restaurant chain is adding a surcharge to eggs because those prices have gone up.
All across the country. We're going to begin with China retaliating against President Trump's tariffs after he put them on hold for Mexico and Canada hours before they were set to go into effect. Chief White House correspondent Mary Bruce starts us off. Good morning, Mary.
Good morning, George. Well, the trade war that President Trump was threatening against Mexico and Canada has been averted for now. But tariffs against China still went into effect overnight, intended to pressure China to crack down on the flow of fentanyl into the U.S. And this morning, Beijing is now quickly responding. Overnight, China firing back. After President Trump's 10% tariff went into effect at midnight, Beijing swiftly retaliating with tariffs on American goods, including coal, liquefied natural gas, crude oil, agricultural machinery, and pickup trucks. China also restricting the export of critical minerals used to produce high-tech products. It comes as the hefty 25% tariffs Trump threatened against Mexico and Canada are now on hold for 30 days. The looming trade war postponed after a day of frenzied negotiations. The president is accusing both countries of allowing migrants and drugs, including fentanyl, to flow into the U.S., claims both countries deny.
Canada is very tough. They're very, very tough to do business with. After
2 phone calls with Prime Minister Justin Trudeau, Canada agreeing, in addition to its existing $1.3 billion border plan, to appoint a fentanyl czar, list cartels as terrorists, and launch a joint Canada-U.S. strike force to combat organized crime, fentanyl, and money laundering. U.S. officials say 43 pounds of fentanyl were seized at the northern border last year, a small fraction compared to the 21,000 pounds seized at the southern border. Mexican President Claudia Sheinbaum now agreeing to send more soldiers to the border to patrol for drugs and migrants.
She did agree to 10,000 soldiers on the border. I would say that's a lot.
Sheinbaum says reducing trafficking of fentanyl is a shared interest and one that she told Trump she already has a campaign to combat. The tariffs now delayed for a month to negotiate, but there is still significant uncertainty. Trump hasn't detailed what kind of progress he's looking for in order to reach a final deal and avert potentially devastating economic consequences.
We haven't agreed on tariffs yet, and maybe we will, maybe we won't. But we have a very good relationship.
Now, as for China, the White House says that President Trump and President Xi plan to speak in the coming days. Those retaliatory tariffs are set to take effect next week on the 10th. And guys, it is likely that we will continue to see Trump using tariffs as leverage. He has signaled that the European Union could be his next target.
He has signaled that. Mary, thanks to you. Rebecca, this is your wheelhouse. What I'm bringing you in here now. The president's tariff plan could raise prices for items we buy online. So why is that, and what products are going to be impacted?
Yeah, so Robin, especially if you shop on websites like Temu, Shein, and AliExpress, where they ship directly from China to your home, those can especially be impacted quickly because of the new tariffs getting rid of this loophole. It's called the de minimis exemption. It's where a Chinese retailer used to be able to ship up to $800 in goods directly to a U.S. customer's home duty-free. The U.S. processed more than 1.3 billion of these packages last year. The Trump administration is saying they don't want that anymore, in part because some of these packages might be coming in with fentanyl. This means more oversight. The other issue is that it undercuts U.S. businesses like Amazon, Walmart, Target, who don't necessarily have the ability to take advantage of that. So consumers could see that impact them.
Does that mean if someone bought something for $400 on Temu today, they'd pay $40 extra?
It could mean that once it's implemented. We still don't know because we haven't seen it in motion yet, but yes, that would likely be the case.
Okay, Rebecca, thanks very much. We're going to turn now to the Trump administration moves to reshape the federal government. The president and Elon Musk now considering a plan to eliminate the Department of Education after controversial moves at the state and Treasury departments that are drawing lawsuits and resistance from Democrats. Senior political correspondent Rachel Scott is on Capitol Hill. Good morning, Rachel.
George, good morning to you. And President Donald Trump's pick for Education Secretary has not even had a confirmation hearing yet here on Capitol Hill. But this morning, we are learning that plans are in the works to dismantle the Department of Education. This morning, President Trump finalizing plans to gut the Department of Education. Sources tell ABC News the president now weighing an executive order to direct his education secretary to submit a proposal to dismantle the agency and call on Congress to eliminate it, fulfilling a campaign promise.
Your state is going to control your children's education. We're moving it out of Washington.
Education is primarily a state and local responsibility already, but the Department of Education does serve more than 50 million students at about 130,000 public and private schools, providing billions to aid students with disabilities and also to schools in low-income communities. President Trump has put billionaire Elon Musk in charge of shrinking the federal government, and the Education Department is a top target. Sources tell ABC News a handful of representatives from Musk's Department of Government Efficiency were spotted inside the Education Department on Monday. Musk is already serving as a special government employee. His team already has access to the vast federal payment system, and now has also seized control of USAID, the agency that provides U.S. humanitarian assistance around the world, locking out employees, essentially shutting it down. Members of Musk's team showed up at those offices, demanding access.
The Doge was in the building. We took down our pride flags. I took out any books I felt would be incriminating. No one was talking.
This morning, workers warned once again to stay home. USAID has a $43 billion budget, about 1% of what the federal government spends. President Trump says Musk won't do anything without approval from the White House.
Elon can't do and won't do anything without our approval, and we'll give him the approval where appropriate.
Democrats warn
Elon Musk did not create USAID. He doesn't have the power to destroy it. And who's going to stop him? We are.
Republicans responding with this message.
To my friends who are upset, I would say with respect, call somebody who cares. They better get used to this. It's USAID today. It's going to be Department of Education tomorrow.
So what is left of USAID is now being folded under the State Department under Secretary Marco Rubio, but Democrats making the point there that it is Congress that has provided funding for the agency, and it would be up to Congress to dismantle it, George.
And Rachel, in Congress today, there are two key votes for President Trump's nominees.
Yes, George, these are two key test votes. One is for Tulsi Gabbard, President Donald Trump's pick for Director of National Intelligence. She picked up some support overnight from key Republican moderate Senator Susan Collins. There is another test vote in a committee for Robert F. Kennedy Jr., President Donald Trump's pick for House Secretary. All eyes are going to be on Senator Bill Cassidy. He said he was really struggling with Kennedy's nomination after he spread misinformation about vaccines. We know they did speak over the weekend, but it's unclear if he got the assurances he needed, George.
Right to Scott. Thanks, Robin.
We will see what happens, but right now we got a new winter storm that is on the move, taking aim at the Midwest and the Northeast. Ginger, you know, she's tracking it off for us. Good morning.
Yeah, we've got a lot to track this morning. So let's start with the part that has created up to 9 inches of snow along the Canadian border in Washington state. This is that county here, showing off the snowblower, which some people are going to need as it moves east, or a piece of the energy moves east, meets the record warmth and then the cold. And that's going to create ice from Kansas City and St. Louis, I'd say, to Indianapolis, Cincinnati. We stopped the clock at 11 p.m. Washington, D.C. there has started in. And what freezing rain is, remember, it falls as rain and then you've got a sub-freezing surface, and so it freezes on contact, making that glaze. So New Jersey, New York City could see a couple of hours of that going into Thursday morning. First snow, then that, then rain. It's going to be really messy. So Wednesday night into Thursday is the worst along I-80, I-90. George, we're going to be watching this, especially through Appalachia in Pennsylvania.
Okay, Ginger, thanks. For returning now to the deadly air crash in Washington. Investigators are expected to release new radar data that could shed light on the final moments before the collision. Transportation correspondent Gio Benitez is in Washington. Good morning, Gio.
Hey, George, good morning. Yeah, crews are hoping to pull the plane's cockpit out of the water today. After they do that, once they get the plane fully out of the water, then they will work on getting the Black Hawk out of the water. Take a look at what we saw here on Monday, because it was just a truly surreal sight. Teams bringing up the plane's fuselage, the passenger cabin, it was just in shreds. They also pulled out a wing from that American Airlines flight, along with an engine. The bodies of 55 of the 67 people killed have been recovered. The NTSB also releasing video of investigators analyzing the flight data recorder at their lab. Now, it requires very special treatment because it was underwater. All of the black boxes, as you just mentioned, George, have been recovered from both the plane and the helicopter. They are hopeful that data and voice recordings from the cockpits can lead to answers. Now, I got to show you this, because U.S. figure skating sharing a moving video paying tribute to the 28 athletes, coaches, and family members who died in the crash. It's just a heartbreaking black and white video. They're full of so much talent, so many young, smiling faces, and all of those who loved them. And still, the investigation here rolls on, but it could be weeks before we get some real answers, Rebecca.
Those precious souls, a painful wait for their families. Okay, Gio, thank you. Now, this morning, we are hearing from the family of a little boy injured during the Philadelphia plane crash when the jet crashed down near their car. Stephanie Ramos spoke to his father, and she joins us from Philadelphia. Good morning, Stephanie.
Hi there, Rebecca. Good morning. The family of that little boy named Trey says doctors initially told them he would never walk again because of his injuries. But the family tells us he has made tremendous progress and survived against all odds.
This morning, investigators combing through evidence into what may have caused that medical transport jet to crash in Philadelphia Friday, injuring at least 24 people and killing 7, 6 on board the jet and 1 person on the ground. The cockpit voice recorder now in the hands of the NTSB. And now the family of one of the survivors, a 10-year-old boy, sharing their experience.
My baby in there. It's hard to see him like that.
Trey Howard was seriously injured by flying debris.
Felt like it was a movie, like a horror movie.
His dad, Andre Howard Jr., says he was picking up donuts with 3 of his kids, ages 4, 7, and 10, when the jet came crashing down.
That's a whole plane right there burning, y'all.
It sounded like a missile was firing bullets, metal at my car, everyone else's car.
Andre immediately backed up his car while his son Trey covered his little sister, protecting her.
I turn around, he has metal out the side of his head.
A police officer rushed them to the hospital where he had emergency brain surgery.
What were you told Friday?
That it was a strong chance he might not survive.
Miraculously, he's now awake and recovering, even talking.
He says thank you to everybody. He cries, Daddy, I'm a celebrity. No, you're bigger than a celebrity. You're a superhero.
A little superhero that has been through so much in the last few days. To lift his spirits, one of his favorite NBA players, the 76ers, Tyrese Maxey, visited him in the hospital. Trey's family says they are so grateful for everyone's support, but most importantly, to still have their little boy.
Absolutely, absolutely. And we hear Trey is a big Eagles fan, and he was wondering, he was hoping that he hadn't missed the game.
Yes, he is.
Hey, Stephanie,
Yes.
Thank you so much. We're going to turn now to the Super Bowl. Last night, opening night in New Orleans. Will Reeve.
Good morning, good morning. It is the kickoff before kickoff, if you will, and players facing all manner of questions, some even relevant to the game. There was also a security briefing. Security is in extra focus after the terror attack on Bourbon Street last month. No credible threats reported. Now, with under a week to go, it is all eyes on the Super Bowl.
This morning's Super Bowl week is officially underway in the Big Easy.
Yeah, cheesecake them. We're ready, baby. Let's get this thing going.
The Philadelphia Eagles and the Kansas City Chiefs taking over the Superdome in New Orleans for opening night. The star players all laser focused on their mission.
It's win or go home.
I love to win more than I hate to lose. You know what I mean? It's just the winning in me. It was like, oh.
A Kansas City win would make them the first team ever to win 3 consecutive Super Bowls and further elevate quarterback Patrick Mahomes into rarefied air. A 4th career title would put him at 2nd most all-time for a quarterback, behind Tom Brady's 7.
If I leave everything out there the way that I feel like I have so far, as far as effort and mentality, I'll be happy with the results.
Future Hall of Fame tight end Travis Kelce bringing his usual exuberance to the week's kickoff, shaking off the haters.
People hate the Chiefs? I didn't know that.
Kelce crediting girlfriend and Chiefs superfan Taylor Swift for helping him hit a high note on the field.
I better hold up my end of the bargain, right? I mean, if she's out here being the superstar she is, I better match that energy.
Meanwhile, Eagles tight end Dallas Goedert not so familiar with Swift's work.
Is she the one that, is she saying don't go chasing waterfalls? She doesn't.
And fresh off announcing his engagement to longtime girlfriend Anna Congdon, Eagles star running back Saquon Barkley is playing for a ring of his own.
I think that would be super cool. It's something that I've dreamed about a long time, and she knows how important it is to me.
The sting of the Eagles' narrow Super Bowl loss to the Chiefs 2 years ago is still fresh for Philadelphia quarterback Jalen Hurts.
I think how we've been able to evolve out the year, grow, get better, learn from things, the good and the bad, I think that's why we're here.
So now that the teams have made the trip to New Orleans, here is a travel-based stat. George, get ready. In the 21st century, stop laughing. In the 21st century, whenever one Super Bowl team has had to travel west and the other has had to travel east, the team traveling west has won every time. They're 8-0, which would mean the Eagles will fly on Super Bowl Sunday.
It almost sounds like an SAT question.
Yeah, you're right. 2 trains leave the station.
Exactly. Headed for New Orleans. Thank you. Coming up, the family suing. Their son died from an asthma attack after the price of his inhaler soared.
And Eva Pilgrim has the reunion with the man who survived being shoved onto the subway tracks here in New York. Eva.
ABC News was there when he was reunited with the first responders who saved his life. It's a moment you won't want to miss. That's coming up, Rebecca.
What a moment, Eva. Also ahead, we are breaking down some of the best savings you can find on TVs ahead of Super Bowl Sunday.
And coming up, the new study on microplastics. We're going to tell you how to reduce your exposure.
Bought you a present. Made me think of you. It's strong and a bit prickly.
Back to GMA, you gotta love Keely and Rebecca from Ted Lasso. And now Keely, played by Juno Temple, is back with a different kind of football. She's starring in a new Super Bowl ad, and we have the exclusive reveal coming up.
Yeah, well, Reeve's going to be back with that first, new at 7:30. Ian Pannell just got off a chopper flying over Gaza, the first American news access to seeing aid being delivered inside Gaza since the ceasefire. Ian is there at King Abdullah Air Base in Jordan. Good morning, Ian.
Yeah, good morning, George. That's right. These are American-made Black Hawk helicopters. We've just landed and seen 2 more choppers coming in now. This was a mercy mission, delivering much-needed medical aid. We flew across Jordan, across Israel, and into Gaza. We saw some of the destruction there. You could see homes, communities totally razed to the ground, but the scale of need there is overwhelming. And of course, this comes just a few days ahead of King Abdullah flying to Washington, meeting with President Trump. It's going to be a difficult meeting because, of course, President President Trump suggested that Jordan should accept some of the Gazans, some of the Palestinians from Gaza, something officials here make clear is a total red line that can't be crossed. George.
Prime Minister Netanyahu in Washington today. Okay, and thanks very much. Also new at 7:30, some businesses across the country were closed Monday, and people took to the streets for a day without immigrants in protest of President Trump's immigration policies. Schools across Southern California reported a dip in attendance, and many people refrained from shopping for the day.
Meantime, a brawl broke out in Albuquerque courtroom during a hearing for an accused murderer. Two men you see there jumped over a barrier, rushing the defendant and punching him as the court officer tried to restore order. He was also struck, and now those two men are facing assault charges. Waffle House is adding a surcharge on eggs due to the rise in prices, announcing they will temporarily put a 50-cent surcharge per egg on all orders.
Per egg?
Per egg. You got to pay per egg, guys. The restaurant chain says they will be monitoring prices. They'll adjust or remove the surcharge as the market allows. Just get 2 eggs in that omelet.
I got to rethink where I go after going clubbing. Because, you know, after you go to the club, you go to Waffle House.
Obviously.
Well, that was a long time ago.
We're going to turn now to a new lawsuit from the family of a young Wisconsin man who died from an asthma attack after the price of his inhaler soared nearly $500. Senior investigative correspondent Aaron Katursky has the story. Good morning, Aaron.
Good morning, George. His family says Cole Schmitnick died of an asthma attack because he could no longer afford his inhaler after being told it would cost him 8 times as much. Cole Schmitnick was just starting his adult life, working at a truck dealership in Green Bay.
He just was really living large in his own mind and loving everything he was doing.
His parents say the 22-year-old lived most of his life with asthma that he treated with an Advair inhaler costing $66 a month. But when Cole went to fill his prescription in January 2024, his parents say his local Walgreens told him his inhaler was no longer covered by his insurance and would cost him $539.
He made $19 an hour. He worked full time. He had his own insurance. However, he couldn't afford $539.19. He was not given an alternative.
Cole left with only an albuterol inhaler used for emergencies. Without the medication he relied on for a decade, his family's lawsuit says Cole repeatedly struggled to breathe and 5 days later had a severe asthma attack and began to asphyxiate.
Walking into that ICU and seeing him like that, there's no way to prepare a parent for that.
The family's lawsuit says he never regained consciousness and several days later was pronounced dead. His family saying Cole was forced to choose rent over his medicine. They're now suing for negligence, arguing OptumRx, a subsidiary of United Health Group, should have given Cole advance notice, and Walgreens should have contacted Cole's doctor or offered him a more affordable workaround.
We'd like to see them change their policies and practices internally to avoid this.
Walgreens said due to pending litigation, we are not commenting. OptumRx said Cole's case was handled consistent with industry practice and the patient's insurance plan design. Starting just last month, the 3 largest manufacturers of inhalers, including GlaxoSmithKline, which makes the Advair that Cole used, agreed to cap the cost of inhalers at $35. Sadly, though, guys, that's too late.
So it won't happen with inhalers anymore, but what if it happens with some kind of other device?
We talked to experts in our medical unit about this, George, and they said talk to your provider to see if there's an alternative. Check online for a discounted site. There are a number of apps that will do that. And reach out to the manufacturer, which will sometime offer rebates or help for those who just can't afford their medication.
Yeah. GoodRx.
Yeah.
GoodRx is an app to use.
Thank you, Aaron.
Yes, thank you, Aaron. Also, we turn now to an ABC News exclusive. The man who survived being shoved onto the subway tracks here in New York meeting with first responders who saved his life. Eva Pilgrim is here with this story. Good morning, Eva.
Good morning, Rebecca. This was something that was really important to Joe. He wanted to thank those heroes who saved his life, and now he's finally gotten that chance. We want to just warn you, though, some of this surveillance video you're about to see is disturbing.
This morning, a thank you.
How you feeling?
Joe Linsey reuniting with the first responders that saved his life on New Year's Eve day after he was pushed onto the subway tracks.
People all around the city take the subway every day. Many people can see themselves in this particular situation. So just happy that we're able to achieve a positive outcome.
The 45-year-old telling us last week how in a split second his life changed forever.
I just thought I've been pushed and I'm going to die.
Emergency crews racing to the 18th Street station.
We don't know exactly what's going on, what we're walking into.
was a little chaotic because the people were actually still on the train, and there were a lot of people talking and yelling, and I heard a call for help, which turned out to be Joseph.
Jonathan Aquilina and John Montalbano going underneath the train to get Joe.
We were able to cut off his clothes on the platform, put a C-spine collar on him at a backboard to support his neck and back, and we as a group carried him out.
Joe spent 7 days in the hospital, 5 in ICU, suffering from a fractured skull, 4 broken ribs, and a ruptured spleen. Now, just over a month after that horrific incident, Joe was able to thank the people who saved his life.
Thank you guys, everyone here, just from the bottom of my heart. For getting me out from under that train. I was calm, but I was terrified, and you guys, you saved my life. There's a lot of good left in the world, and you guys are very much a part of that. So thank you from the bottom of my heart. Thank you very much.
Thank you.
Okay. Thank you all.
There is still a lot of good left in the world, and Joe has a long road ahead of him for recovery, but he is so grateful. And guys, I've gotten so many messages. You guys just asked me about his dog, Leo. It was the first thing he asked about when they got him off the tracks. Leo is okay. Those firefighters actually were able to find Joe's phone, so he was able to call someone to go get Leo, so Leo was not left alone.
Oh my goodness, going above and beyond, as always, as they do. All right, thank you, Eva, so much. Now with our countdown to the Super Bowl, you heard what Becky said. Let's huddle up, team. Let's huddle up, because she is going to help us score the best deals on TVs right before the big game. You come bearing gifts. Good morning to you, Becky.
Robin said, "Hood." That's right. We're getting after it. And I know that all of you want to have the best TV for the game, and this is actually a good time. So let's talk about what you're looking for. Picture quality. Let's start there. If we're talking fast action like sports, you want to look for 120 hertz refresh rate. For budget TVs, you'll probably end up with a 60 hertz TV. It's not a huge deal, but for sports and gaming, maybe it's worth the splurge. Sound quality. If you don't have an external soundbar, read reviews on the display's internal speakers. Finally, screen size. The trend is for XXL TVs right now. We're talking over 75 inches, and there are deals at that size. And Robin, with the TV over 75 inches, Saquon Barkley is running into your living room life size. Okay?
All right, you just gave us the X's and O's. Let's get down to it now. What have you scored for us, our friend?
Okay, prices. We're going to start with those big TVs. A TCL 98-inch Class Q6 at Best Buy was $17.99. Now it's $14.99. Plus, this is big. You get free delivery and installation from Best Buy right now for TVs over 97 inches. That's a $300 value. Okay, moving down into normal TV size. CNET's best budget TV is the Samsung Crystal UHD. Walmart has this 65-inch budget model for just $398. That is a historical low price. And then if you want a small TV, but one that's very highly rated, the Hisense U8 55-incher was $10.99, now $7.98 at Amazon. It's a good time also to buy refurbished or open box TV, but here's a tip. Best Buy no longer keeps those in most local stores. They have about 26 regional outlets now with all that stock. I'd make a trip or check the Best Buy outlet website for some of those best TV deals. Robin.
That is a very good tip from you, Becky. You know, a lot of talk about tariffs. While there's a pause, we know Canada and Mexico. The one with China still in place. So are TVs something that we could see impacted by them?
Absolutely. I mean, I would take a minute to think about any big ticket items you need in the near future. These sales and President's Day, that's where it's at. You got to spend to save right now. We know prices are probably going up.
Spend to save. Okay, you should have seen Rebecca's reaction to that. Every time you say spend to save, Rebecca kind of twitches a little bit.
Get your hustle on. That's what I say.
Thank you, Becky. Thank you as always.
Thank you.
Play of the daytime. Will Reeve is here as we're counting down to the Super Bowl, and you have a new reveal today.
Sure do. Good morning again, everybody. There are more eyes on the Super Bowl each year than anything else on television, so brands have to pay up to get their product in front of all those people. Over $8 million for some 30-second spots this year. So one strategy to maximize value, which Rebecca always appreciates, is releasing those ads early before the game to get more buzz. So here is one now, an exclusive look at Oikos Yogurt's take on surprising strength. It features Ted Lasso star Juno Temple and NFL star Myles Garrett. Take a look.
Attention passengers.
No.
Gate change.
What's the matter, Miles? My gate just changed. You see this? Ain't no way I'm making this flight.
Oh, you're making this flight. Hold my oikos. Okay. Coming through.
Watch it!
Miles, can I get your autograph?
We can make it! Thank you. You're stronger than you look, JT.
I know. Now give me back my oikos, big guy.
Oikos is packed with complete protein to help build strong muscles.
And it worked. There you go.
Any big ad trends this year?
Yeah, I think humor is the trend. There's lots of celebrities, sure, but there's going to be some less social commentary from the ads we've seen than in previous years. You saw that Dunkin' Donuts ad with the Affleck brothers and Jeremy Strong going method. You saw that When Harry Met Sally reunion with Billy Crystal and Meg Ryan. There's another good one with, who's in it? Nick Offerman and James Harden, and a lot of facial hair for Pringles, which makes sense because the Pringles guy. So get ready for lots of laughs. We got one there from George, and the ads are always great.
You've been making me laugh all morning.
That's why I come here in the morning, to brighten your day.
Thank you. And you do just that. Thank you, Will. Coming up, breaking at 8, Princess Kate's new message on World Cancer Day. And how about these Marvel superfans waiting for the launch of the trailer for the new Fantastic Four movie? We're talking to the stars ahead. We're going to see the trailer too.
Good morning, America. It's 8 a.m. Breaking overnight. China strikes back against President Trump's tariffs, retaliating with counter tariffs on select U.S. goods, after Trump backed down from his threat to impose sweeping tariffs on Canada and Mexico.
GMA Health Alert, the new study on microplastics and our brains, what we know and how to reduce your exposure.
Goonies Never Say Die.
Come on, guys. This is our time.
The gang reunites to celebrate Ke Huy Quan, what he said about a potential remake.
And with 5 days until the big game, it's our Battle of the Bites. Flying into Philly for some Eagles fan favorite foods and invading Chiefs Kingdom to see what's cooking in KC. As they say,
live from Times Square, it's Tuesday. Good morning, America.
you know it's not the Super Bowl without some great food. So this morning, Ike is in Philly, Rhiannon is in KC, both showing us what's on the menu at beloved local spots before the big game.
Yum, yum. Come for the food, stay for the football. That is my Super Bowl motto. And take a look, by the way, at those Marvel super fans. Coming up, the cast of Fantastic Four First Steps are speaking with us live. They looked a little like the football fans, so I wasn't sure, but they're super fans of Marvel.
They are. We're going to start with a look at the top stories breaking at 8. China retaliating against President Trump's tariffs after he put them on hold for Mexico and Canada hours before they were set to go into effect. Chief White House correspondent Mary Bruce is tracking this. Good morning, Mary.
Good morning again, George. Well, the trade war that President Trump had threatened against Mexico and Canada has been averted for now, but overnight tariffs against China still went into effect, an effort to pressure China to crack down on the flow of fentanyl into the U.S. And this morning, China is now firing back. After President Trump's 10% tariff went into effect at midnight, China swiftly retaliating with tariffs on American goods, including coal, liquefied natural gas, crude oil, agricultural machinery, and pickup trucks. China is also restricting the export of critical minerals used to produce high-tech products. It comes after the hefty 25% tariffs Trump threatened against Mexico and Canada are now on hold for 30 days. The president is accusing both countries of allowing migrants and drugs to flow into the U.S., claims both countries deny. Trump is using tariffs for leverage with our largest trading partners. The truce only coming after Mexico and Canada agreed to surge more resources to the border. But this morning, there is still a lot of uncertainty and a lot of questions about what comes next. President Trump still hasn't detailed or explained what progress he wants to see in order to reach a final deal here and stave off what could be potentially devastating economic consequences. Robin.
All right, Mary, our thanks to you. Now to World Cancer Day, the day to raise awareness of cancer detection and treatment. Princess Kate is sending a message to those on their own journey with the disease after she shared hers. Lama Hassan is at Buckingham Palace for us this morning. Good morning, Lama.
Yeah, good morning to you, Robin. That's right. Princess Kate today marking World Cancer Day with a sweet message in a photo taken by none other than Prince Louis, her 6-year-old son. The candid picture was snapped by the budding young photographer earlier this year in the woods in Windsor. Now, we know that spending time in nature has been incredibly important to the princess's recovery. Kate also writing a message saying, don't forget to nurture all that which lies beyond the disease. C, signing it off personally. And of course, it is personal for the princess, who just last month announced that she's in remission while visiting the hospital that treated her for cancer last year. Now, we still don't know what type of cancer the princess had, only that she underwent a course of chemotherapy and that it was found during abdominal surgery. Now, Kate had been largely out of action in 2024, only making a few important appearances, but she's kicked off 2025 with a flurry of engagements as she gradually returns to her royal duties. And Kate was even out and about this morning, opening an exhibition with school children. Rebecca.
Yes, of course. Okay, Lama, thank you. We turn now to Blake Lively versus Justin Baldoni. The It Ends With Us co-star's legal battle has entered the courtroom, and Ariel Reshef has the details. Good morning, Ariel.
Good morning to you, Rebecca. A lot of eyes on this one. It is an increasingly ugly PR battle with both sides digging in, the case taking on a life of its own in the court of public opinion, and now the high drama bleeding into the federal courtroom, where the judge warned both sides that all the public mudslinging could jeopardize the trial.
This morning, 3 months after the bitter PR war between It Ends With Us stars Blake Lively and Justin Baldoni began, the case has finally reached court. Their attorneys facing off for the first time in front of a federal judge who warned both sides to rein in the public rancor to avoid influencing a potential jury.
It actually gets worse. Yeah.
No way. The blockbuster feud taking over TikTok.
It looks like we're going to have to rename this movie to It Never Ends.
Baldoni's team launching a new website over the weekend, releasing a timeline claiming Lively and her husband, actor Ryan Reynolds, drafted a statement intended to make Baldoni take accountability for the troubled production and negative press Lively received surrounding the launch of the movie. On his new website, Baldoni also releasing what he claims are previously unseen texts between himself, Lively, and Reynolds during the making of the film. According to those texts, on February 8th, 2023, Baldoni reached out to Ryan Reynolds saying he would like them to be friends. Reynolds allegedly responding, "You've been a wonderful collaborator with B, and that meant a great deal to both of us. Being a stand-up person is everything, and you've been just that since day one. Thank you. I happen to adore you, Justin." In June of 23, shortly before production shut down for the writer's strike, Baldoni says he sent Lively a text saying, "I appreciate all you've done to help us catch up and the extra work and energy you've put in. It has not gone unnoticed." Lively responded, "Thanks so much for this text. I appreciate your empathy and I give it in return." Lively's camp not responding to Baldoni's website directly, but her attorneys saying after court, "We are confident that once all the evidence is submitted in this matter, Miss Lively will prevail."
And Lively's team clarified that they were not seeking a gag order in this case, but they wanted the judge to set some ground rules for conduct inside and outside of the courtroom. The trial is set to begin in March of 2026, but the judge is threatening to move that up if the public spectacle continues. Guys.
All right, Ariel, thank you so much. Coming up in our GMA Morning Menu, the new study about our brains and microplastics. Our chief medical correspondent, Dr. Tara Narula, is here to break it down for us.
Also ahead, a Goonies reunion. The cast coming back together 40 years later to celebrate Ke Huy Quan. We have the details in Pop News.
Plus, dietitian Rachel Beller is here on this World Cancer Day with the foods that could help lower your cancer risk. And Sam upstairs with Lori Bergamato. Hey, guys.
That looks delicious. Well, look, you know, George, I love my sweatpants, but sometimes people say it's not dressed up enough. Well, Lori B found this. She's being a mannequin right now. Lori B found these sweatpants that are like, but this looked like real jeans. Like a pocket and the rivets and everything.
Wait till you see what we have in store.
All right. It's elevated sweatpants, guys. Right here on GMA. We'll be right back. I can't believe how really real they look.
We're going to trick you.
What do you think of the shield? Looks good on me, right?
Anthony Mackie right there. He's starring in Captain America: Brave New World. He's here in Times Square tomorrow. as we count down to the premiere on Friday, February 14th.
And I agree, the shield does look great. And Danny Ramirez, who plays Falcon, will be here on Thursday, and we are very much looking forward to that. Robin?
We really are. It's a big week here on GMA, as always. Our GMA cover story now. A health alert about a new study looking at microplastics. They are found in everything from plastic containers to water bottles, and new research finds they may be impacting our brain tissue. Chief Medical Correspondent Dr. Tara Narula, please help break this down and help us understand this study a little bit more.
Right, so microplastics are ubiquitous. They're found all over the planet. As you said, they come from things like plastic bags, plastic food wrap, tires, cosmetics. And we know they're very small, tiny, less than 5 millimeters, or the size of a pencil head. And we get exposed to them typically by the food we eat, what we're drinking, or in the air. Now, we've seen microplastics in tissue samples in the human body before, but this study specifically looked at autopsies of about 50 individuals, their brain, their liver, and their kidney tissue. And they found a few things, Robin. First of all, they found that the levels of microplastics went up between 2016 and 2024 in the brain and the liver. In the brain, they went up by about 50%. They also saw that the brain had on average about 7 to 30 times more evidence of microplastics than the liver and the kidney. They looked at some individuals with dementia. They had higher levels of microplastics in the brain. And get this, when they looked at the average brain, the amount of microplastics in the brain was equivalent to the weight of a plastic spoon, about 7 grams.
So how much do we know about the danger here?
Not enough at all. So as we've seen the rise in plastics over the last 30 years, we really have not understood the effects of these microplastics or the chemicals inside them, which is a whole nother topic, in the human body. We don't know if they cause disease. We don't know how they're getting in the brain. So clearly we need a lot more research on this.
We do need more research on this, and this is concerning. But, you know, as always, folks are listening to you this morning, and they're leaning in because you resonate so well with folks, and they want to know, okay, so what do you recommend if they're feeling that maybe they are ingesting too much of this?
Right, and so there's no way to really know how much you have. We don't have that ability to measure that, but there are things you and I can do. We were just talking about swapping out some of our plastic containers for glass, for example. So not using those plastic water bottles, trying not to microwave plastic because that heat will release those particles. Thinking about using wooden cutting boards, for example, using those recyclable bags instead of the plastic ones. You want to vacuum, avoid ultra-processed foods, use clothing that has natural fibers as opposed to synthetic fibers. So lots of ways you can kind of look through your house and what you're doing on a daily basis and try to eliminate that exposure.
I was telling you that someone was telling me, and I didn't even really pay attention to it, having a water bottle in the car, and when it heats up, that is something to be concerned with.
Right, so metal, you know, or even like what you're cooking in, stainless steel or skillets, as opposed to those non-stick surfaces, cookware, that can release it. So lots of little changes you can make that will be helpful.
We can make these little changes.
We can.
All right, Dr. Tara Narula, thank you so much.
Sam does not have any socks, but he does have pop news.
Yes, and he has a suit on.
Well, I don't know. Let's see how this goes, George. You know, I'm never sure about this. All right, let's begin pop news. Now, we all know Goonies never say die, so let's go all the way back to 1985 and go all in on the Goonies. This movie is celebrating its 40th anniversary, as is Cyndi Lauper's soundtrack theme song, Good Enough. Do you remember this?
Yeah,
I think it's a great song, right?
Yes.
And now the cast is reuniting decades after their adventure comedy, starring Sean Astin, Josh Brolin, Corey Feldman, Jeff Cohn, Cary Green, and Kiwi Kwan. Now the cast is reuniting in LA to celebrate Kwan because he got his hand and footprints cemented into history at the TCL Chinese Theater. So Brolin got up to share a touching tribute to his friend, and he calls Kwan an example of the American dream who happens to have a heart of gold. And this is so sweet. He added, "I couldn't be happier for you. This honor is not only totally deserved, but it celebrates all that is right in this industry." And we say, congratulations.
Yes.
I mean, I just love that man and everything he's been in. It was nice to see the Goonies kind of like reunited, right?
And it feels so good.
Like going sockless. All right, now, it may be cold outside, but ladies and gentlemen, let's think together and warm up with thoughts of spring and the annual Met Gala. This morning, not that they wear a lot of clothes, I don't know what that has to do, but it's probably just that it's spring. Learning new information about the annual fundraiser. Now, back in October, Vogue and the Metropolitan Museum of Art announced that the theme of this 2025 event was Superfine, tailoring black style, and will be co-chaired by Coleman Domingo. Big names. Yeah, Lewis Hamilton, Pharrell Williams, A$AP Rocky, and now now we can announce, ladies and gentlemen, right here on GMA, the specific dress code for the evening. So here's what you'll be seeing. It's called Tailored for You, and it's a nod to the exhibition's focus on suiting and menswear. So you'll see a lot of this style. Now, if you've never been to an exhibit at the Met, if you're in New York, just go. And then go downstairs. This is the first time in over 20 years that the Costume Institute, which is downstairs there, has an exhibit devoted to menswear.
Nice.
It will spotlight, right. I mean, you know, all these things I probably wore if they go back to the 1800s. It'll spotlight garments as well as modern ensembles from black designers all around the world. And that's not all. So the Met is also announcing its host committee. Take a deep breath because we're all going to get exhausted together. They include Simone Biles, incredible, her husband Jonathan Owens, unbelievable, newly minted Grammy winner Doechii, Regina King, Spike Lee, Angel Reese, Usher. I mean, I feel like these lists is going to go on forever. I'm exhausted. It's just the beginning of this star-studded list. The Met Gala will take place Monday, May 5th, and the exhibition opens to the public on May 10th.
Well done.
Nice.
Wow, that is a list.
I mean, that was a lot to get into, right? And we haven't even.
And Coleman Domingo is going to be here on GMA very soon.
Oh, great.
Yes,
Excellent.
yes.
I mean, his style is like, okay. All right, so finally this morning, this is something I had to deep dive into. There's one hairstyle trend that has everybody buzzing, and I didn't know what it was. After making a red carpet splash at the Grammys, did you see it? Over the weekend, so A-listers are starting to embrace this, the jellyfish style. So we had, come here, Greg, come on out. We had one of our studio stylists create the look. Greg, just show me what this is and how it does. Here it comes.
Sam the jellyfish.
So I don't know what this is. I don't know what it's going to be like, and I'm sorry. I apologize to everybody. Grab the front. Grab the front. All right. Miley Cyrus, Lady Gaga, Billie Eilish, all sporting this high-low cut, which is short and round up top, ladies and gentlemen, and long on the bottom like a jellyfish. Now, is that, Greg, really? Okay.
Just a little bit up.
Just a little,
all right. Now, experts say it's the perfect cut for anyone who's torn between. I have no idea what this looks like, and this is probably horrifying. I already apologize. If you can't decide between a short bob and long, is this it? Is this the way it is?
This is the way it is.
Then if you can't decide between short and long, you can get it both easily. It's called one of the hottest hair trends of 2024, with Hollywood jumping on board, so we've seen it on Zendaya. Should I turn sideways for this?
Yes.
Shay Mitchell, Lizzo. Now this trend doesn't seem to be going out of style, except probably right now. I've killed it. So
let's frame your face nicely.
Do I look thinner?
Yeah, you do.
Do I look younger?
What is it, Bill and Ted's Excellent Adventure?
It's a mullet, right? It's a mullet. It's a mullet with like a bowl cut in the middle, so it's like a step down mullet. I think. I don't know.
That's good.
That's it. That's all pop news.
All right. So this is what I miss on Fridays. In person, I do watch. All right. Thank you all so much. I want to get on out of here. It's time now to get away from Sam and into the viral sweatpant jeans trend with Shop GMA lifestyle contributor Lori Bergamatto. Lori B is here to tell us all about it. Jeans that celebrities from Brittany Mahomes, Jennifer Hudson, Jennifer Aniston, they cannot get enough of.
And you're not going to be able to get enough of it either. Everybody's going crazy for these, Robin. Have you heard about this?
Yes, I have. What is it? Rag and Bones. Rag and Bones. They were the ones that really got it all started, right?
They're the OGs. So we're going to start with them actually to your right here. So these are the Rag and Bone Miramar jeans. And people are going crazy for them. Now go ahead, Robin, and touch this pair right next to you. What does that feel like? Does it feel like denim?
Yeah, it does.
It does? No, it's sweatpants.
Oh, no, it does. It smells like sweatpants.
Give it another try. Give it another try there. Yes. Okay, so what I want you to take a notice of, you see there's a little fashion tear on the knee right near you?
I do see that.
Touch that. It's fake. It's a digital printed image.
Oh, wow.
So this is a style we call trunk louet. Not pockets. That's right.
That's a pocket.
And the button there is not a real button. It's all just a digital printed image. We have them here on our model, Isabel, who looks beautiful in them, by the way, and also saying how comfortable they are. So I want to be clear. These are sweatpants.
They are?
They are not denim.
Wow.
But they are they really do look just like denim. They fooled you, right?
They did.
Isabel, go ahead and turn around for us and try to put your hand in the back pocket. Nothing. Because it's just deceiving the eye. It's like an optical illusion. What people love about these is that obviously they are so comfortable because who doesn't want to be in sweatpants, right? But you can wear them anywhere and really feel on trend. Rag & Bone has done a great job too with the Miramar of doing them in a lot of different cuts and styles. So if you want a wide leg, if you want a jogger, They have something
They
for
got you
everyone.
covered.
And now they have men, so I think that's why Sam Champion was out here.
I think that's what he was doing.
Loitering
Yeah.
around. He was looking for a pair for
that
himself.
or other reasons. Okay. So these are beautiful, great.
Right.
They can be a little pricey, and
Yes.
so the Gap.
The Gap
is
has
filling in.
gotten in on this trend, and they've sort of done a different.
Aren't you wearing them?
I'm wearing a pair, and these are also a pair.
Oh.
So if you think about the sweatpant jeans on a spectrum, those are actually sweatpants, right?
Okay.
Now we're going to move to the middle. These are in a sweatpant style. These are French terry, but these have real jean accessories. So they have like a real
Yes.
front pocket, they have a real back pocket. But look, they kept this sweatpant detail with the elastic waist. We all love an elastic waist as we're leading up to Super Bowl weekend,
Yes.
right? And they have real belt loops. So those are the French terry. And then for me, I'm in a pair from the Gap. These are all under $100. These are actually $60. And
those aren't jeans.
These are cotton. So French terry, and these are cotton. You can go ahead and feel them if you'd like.
Wow.
Do you feel how light and
They
airy
are so
they are?
light, right.
They still have that elastic waist here, pockets, back pockets. So you have those jean-like details,
Sure.
but super comfy.
Yeah.
And especially as we go into spring, they're great.
Okay.
But if you're not ready to make that full jump,
yeah, right.
you still want some denim, you can go ahead and feel these. This is actually denim.
Yes, this is.
These are from Spanx. So they say these are the most comfortable pair of denim that you can get, and they really are. These have a 4-way premium stretch in them. But Robin, notice here, this is what makes them sort of like a sweatpant jean, is that there's no button, there's no zipper. These are just pull on. So all of these sweatpant jeans, they're saying this is like sort of the Gen Z jegging. For us, it was all about the jegging.
Sure.
But now they're saying this is the way that everything is moving, more towards comfort and a hybrid. There's a price point for everybody. It's such a fun trend to get in on. And I have to say, I was a little like, oh, is this gonna feel like we threw in the towel on life? But no, it's amazing. I am such a convert. I love a sweatpant jean. You gotta try them out.
And they look great.
Thank
they really
you.
do. All right. Well, thank you, Lori, as
Thank you.
always. And you can shop all of these products on our website. Coming up, we have the cast, the entire cast of the new Fantastic Four movie. They are going to join us live, and I think we're also going to check out the trailer, if I'm not mistaken. Okay? Come on back.
Welcome back to GMA, live from Times Square.
Ben has always been a rock. Johnny is Johnny.
Hi.
And I am right here. Whatever life throws at us, we'll face it together. As a family.
First trailer for the Fantastic Four First Steps. It was released just minutes ago. And now we're joined by 4 fantastic guests from Marvel's first family: Pedro Pascal, Vanessa Kirby, Ebon Moss-Bachrach, and Joseph Quinn. Welcome to all of you guys and all of your fans down there in Huntsville, Alabama, the U.S. Space and Rocket Center.
I don't even know if I can hear us. It's so loud
I can't
back
tell.
there.
So how does it feel now that all these fans got their first look?
Which one is he talking to?
All of you. Go
all of you.
anywhere.
All of
Any-
you.
go
Hi.
It feels amazing.
It feels amazing. Yeah.
It's amazing. It's really special. We had an amazing time, so we want to share that amazing time with everybody, and we're so excited it's finally out there and that we get to be here with all of you to see it at the same time.
You picked an incredible spot there in Huntsville, and it looks like they packed the crowd in behind you. Pedro, just a quick question, because your fashion today is definitely on point, and you get to be Mr. Fantastic. I could never pull this off, by the way, but you make it look good. And then you get to be Mr. Fantastic, but you also get a blue jumpsuit with white boots and a white belt. Now, I mean, that's kind of amazing. So what's it like to kind of become Mr. Fantastic?
Humbling. The suit was very fitting for all of us, and had a little bit of a retro go-go boy. And I think, you know, we pull it off.
Well, we all
were in
can't
it
wait
together, though, so yeah.
Evan, has it been hard to keep all these Marvel secrets?
Oh yeah. I feel like people are constantly trying to, you know, interrogate and sort of pull stuff out of me, I just kind of button it, you know. Keep it quiet.
Well, I mean, there's some of us who remember the original, and then there's going to be brand new fans here. Vanessa, I got to get to you though, because we see Susan Storm, and you talk about it in the trailer as it being kind of as a family you're going to face it. Well, she really is all of those things. I mean, she's a sister, she's been a partner. There's also, I think, a rumor that she may, in some case, be a mom. Do we get to understand more about her, or do you want to fill out any of that character kind of conversation?
You'll have to wait and see.
Oh, here we go.
Is what I can say, like Ebon. But she was, I mean, you know, it was such an honor to read her throughout the decades. And I started with the very first comic. And to think that many artists wrote these characters, that many people have waited week on week for the episode, and to, you know, have this family as part of, you know, their lives, and we felt so honored to come and join it. And it was amazing to read those different decades, because they changed so much, but so the characters were all there for us to make what we wanted to, because they were all facets, you know. They were so four-dimensional in the comics that we got to live them in one movie, which was, yeah, it felt amazing.
Joseph, tell us about the moment that you got the call to join the Marvel Universe.
Oh, yeah, that was a very unexpected call. I got a call from my agents and asking me to join this pretty extraordinary, esteemed cast, and I was so honored and excited by the prospect of it. And then, 5 months later, of going together. We're in a place now where we can share it with these wonderful fans that have woken up very early, and we're very appreciative of it. So it's been an extraordinary journey thus far, yeah.
Were you a fan of the Marvel comics growing up?
I was, like many young people. I would read them, and Johnny Storm was kind of my favorite one, so that's a bit of a pinch me thing.
He's definitely a cool character. Yeah, there's no doubt about it. I can't wait to see how it's redefined.
We are all looking forward to it. Thank you all for joining us this morning. Marvel Studios, The Fantastic Four first steps hit theaters July 25th.
It is World Cancer Day, and we're taking a look at how we can, lower risks through the foods we eat. Dietitian and the best-selling author of Spice Rack, and a dear friend of ours here, Rachel Beller, joins us with her top remedies to help reduce. We're talking about reducing cancer risks.
Yes.
With a cancer through diet.
Yes,
we always emphasize that.
Always need to emphasize that there's no single food or diet that can prevent or cure cancer, but what we eat collectively over time can make a difference.
Okay.
So that's important. And
you got some Beller's best foods that we have here, starting with veggies.
Yes.
We're talking long term.
These are long term, but these are cruciferous vegetables, top of the line when it comes to cancer fighting properties, which is great. But I want to show you something here, a little pro tip, which is broccoli sprouts. Broccoli sprouts, so they're rich in sulforaphane, protects us on the cellular level, okay? Broccoli sprouts are 3 to 5 day old broccoli, and check this out, 2 tablespoons has as much cancer-fighting sulforaphane as 2 pounds of mature broccoli.
I didn't realize that about Brussels sprouts. Okay.
Yes, so that you could put broccoli sprouts on your salads, on your soups like this. It's a great way to boost the sulforaphane. Nothing beats wholesome foods.
That is a good tip. Okay, herbs. Things that they add flavor and things like that, but there's so many more benefits to them, and you've got a power pack.
Yes, I want to think beyond just flavor. They're packed with phytochemicals that protect us, again, on the cellular level, a lot of cancer-fighting properties, but I have something kind of new to share with you. This is the Beller Nutrition Pure Italian blend.
Oh my gosh,
100% organic. Yes, we have this at bellanutrition.com, and it's so great because it's such a simple way to boost the cancer-fighting potential of any meal. So you can, sprinkle that on, your store-bought marinara. There you go. You just gave that a boost. How simple.
I love how you say here, it says, no junk, pure power.
Yes.
And that's what you want
here. The simple things are best.
That's
Lots of flavor.
Okay, protein. That's all we hear these days. So you have a pro tip when it comes to protein.
Yes, when it comes to cancer-fighting properties, we want to be more inclusive of plant-based proteins. They're rich in phytochemicals that protect us, again, on the cellular level, help reduce chronic inflammation, and
rich in fiber. We can't have a segment without fiber,
Not
right?
with you. That's right.
Not with me. So on average, 12 grams of fiber per cup.
Oh.
It protects our gut microbiome, creates short-chain fatty acids, supports our immunity. Really important, and they're budget-friendly. Now, little trick of the trade that I have for people who are trying to include them, but sometimes it comes with a little bit of side effects. So trying sprouted varieties. These are sprouted lentils. The sprouting actually enhances the absorption of the nutrients, so that's good. You're going to get more out of your food. It takes 5 minutes to cook, fast food at its best, and so it's great. Much easier to digest and just amazing, still budget friendly. I highly recommend trying that.
That is a good pro tip.
Yes.
Okay, hydrate. We know that's very important, but it's also how we hydrate.
Hydration with intention. Yeah. That's what I teach my masterclass participants. You want to hydrate with intention. And what we drink, beverages make a difference. Think about how much we drink in a day. It's an opportunity to up your cancer fighting properties. So what I have here is green tea, matcha. I know you're a big fan. And matcha is not a trend. It's here to stay.
Yes.
Lots of research on it. It's rich in EGCG, a very powerful antioxidant. And then black tea also, we underestimate that one. Rich in catechins, very protective. You can have a ginger turmeric tea, also reducing inflammation. There's so many power tonics and opportunities. And a little pro tip, if you add citrus to matcha or green tea, that enhances the absorption of the EGCG. So it's a win-win.
It's a win-win, and you are always pushing the matcha on me. So bottom line, what is the bottom line for all of this, do you say, for folks?
Is to get on, to simplify nutrition. Scientific nutrition, cancer-fighting nutrition made simple and easy because we want to sustain this on the long run. It's not what we do for a short period of time, it's what we do for the long run. So you want to find something that you can stick to. And that's what I try to encourage my masterclass participants. I take them for that ride, and we have it in a way that's so simple and empowering.
Yeah. Just appreciate you so much, Rachel. Known you for a long time.
A long time.
And you have helped many of us here at ABC and at GMA. Thank you for that. And let's now go to ginger.
Oh, that ginger turmeric, that's my jam. I love that stuff. It really is. It's like got a nice sweetness to it. Okay, let's talk about Super Bowl 59 because it's just 5 days away. And in New Orleans, a region that experiences some of the fastest rates of land loss on the planet. It is all due to rising sea levels, the subsidence or the sinking land, and extreme weather. NFL Green, the New Orleans Super Bowl host committee, joined with Special Forces veterans from Force Blue, other volunteers as well, and they all created a living shoreline in the southern Louisiana town of Leeville. They moved 59 tons of oyster shells, which are so helpful, into the waters there to provide habitat for new oysters and other wildlife, and it helps to slow the rate of land loss. So great work being done ahead of the Super Bowl.
Time now for our February GMA Book Club pick. 2020's Deborah Roberts has that along with her conversation with the author, and I know you love this book.
George, every now and again a book just surprises you, and this one did. Readers are going to be enthralled with the young enslaved woman at the center of this powerful book. From page 1, Junie by debut author Aaron Crosby Eckstein tells the unforgettable story of a strong-willed girl who refuses to accept a world which denies her hope and her freedom. 16-year-old Junie has grown up enslaved on Bellarine Plantation, tending to the master's daughter, who's taught her to read novels and poetry and to dream of a different world.
It's a story of a girl who is coming of age and trying to figure her world out and figure out what she needs to live the best life possible. And I think that everyone can relate to that.
In Junie, Aaron Crosby Eckstein begins with the spirited girl grieving the loss of her older sister, whose ghost soon appears, revealing dark secrets which upend Junie's life.
You balance the heartbreak of a shameful period of American history, slavery, with the beauty of a young, oppressed woman who is enslaved. How difficult was it to strike that balance?
I wanted to ensure that the character themselves really came through with the full complexity of humanity. Slavery went on for 250 plus years in the United States. People lived their entire lives under this system, meaning that they experienced the entire breadth of life from birth to death. So everything that you and I experience, love, grief, sorrow, joy, all of those experiences were happening under this system.
So she wrote a story brimming with heart and history, inspired by her own ancestors.
What led you to explore this period in our history?
My grandmother's grandmother, her name was Jane Cotton, and she was enslaved in Lowndes County, Alabama. And she actually escaped just before the Civil War. My grandmother used to tell me the story all the time.
What do you really want readers to walk away from this feeling?
Our world is incredibly complicated, that under periods of incredible pain, trauma, difficulty, that there are still these glimmers of beauty that are worth holding on to. And I think that's what makes Junie such an inspiring character, is that under the circumstances she is still really holding out for these moments of beauty, of joy, of connection. And I really want readers to be able to hold on to that.
And they will hold on. Crosby Eckstein's grandmother passed away before she released the book, but she says she can feel her spirit on this literary journey, and she thinks, George, she would have loved it, although she may have had a few notes because she was pretty outspoken. This story is filled with unforgettable characters you're going to remember long past page 354 when you finish. Junie is available.
You're really
now.
enthusiastic about this one.
George, it's really good. I did not expect it to just be such a page turner, but it is.
Thank you, Deborah. Coming up, we're live in Philly and Kansas City for the Battle of the Super Bowl Bites.
Welcome back. So, guys, we just have 5 days to get ready for it. We're counting down to the big game on Sunday. It's Kansas City versus Philadelphia, so Rebecca just told me. And small businesses in both cities are getting in on the Super Bowl spirit. So we sent two of our biggest football fans to see what's happening out there. I see Ike and Rhiannon are both out
Yes, Rhiannon's in Kansas City. Ike Ajachi is in Philadelphia with some of those cities' best bites for the Super Bowl 59. And we're going to start with you, Rhiannon, in Kansas City. Everything looks beautiful.
Yeah,
delicious.
It really does. That's gorgeous.
They outdid themselves. Good morning, guys. Everyone knows Kansas City is known for its barbecue, but this morning we are showing you a sweeter side to KC. We are so excited. We're here with some of the biggest diehard Chiefs fans. And McLean's Bakery opened their door bright and early for us this morning. We are so thankful. We have Molly and Jeff here. McLean's has been here for 80 years, and you've made all these incredible treats, this beautiful Good Morning America cake and everything else, this Andy Reid cake. Where do you find your inspiration, year after year? This is the third year in a row we've been in the Super Bowl.
Yeah, we love it. It's so fun. We usually go to social media, see what's happening there, see what our guests like the most. This is the Kingdom cake. It's super fun. It's based off of, obviously, Chiefs Kingdom, but also Mardi Gras. We happen to be, playing in New Orleans this year. So I think we have this fun little golden baby, a little bit of an ode to the Mahomes and their new baby golden. And so, yeah, we have the cookie boxes for those big parties, and then the cakes and everything else.
You have everything a Chiefs fan could ever dream of.
Yes.
And we also, a party wouldn't be complete without Meshuggah Bagels, a staple here in Kansas City. And we have Pete and Jana here, the owners. Pete, you're from New York. Are you a Chiefs fan now?
Oh yeah, can't live here and not be a Chiefs fan. Yeah.
That's true. You married into Chiefs Kingdom.
We did,
Is that where the inspiration for the bagels came from?
Absolutely. You got to have red and gold bagels when the Chiefs are in the playoffs, and most importantly for the victory parade.
Yes, they sell thousands of these. And again, we're going for that three-peat this year. We are so excited. Everyone's excited here in Kansas City. We're going to dig in. We're going to send it over to our friend Ike Ajachi. He is in Philadelphia. We can't wait to see what he's cooking up. Let's grab our treats. You know what, Ike? I think these all taste like a Chiefs victory. What do you think?
Oh, Ike. Don't let that stand, Ike. Don't let that stand.
No. We're not talking about a Chiefs victory over there. We're talking about an Eagles victory. And we're that's right. We are here at Magillan's Old Ale House, all right? This is the oldest, most continuously run bar in Philly. I'm here with the owners here, Christopher Mullins Sr., Christopher Mullins Jr., and of course, a handful of the most frenzied, crazy Eagles fans you'll ever meet in your life.
I love how you can have a duck. It could be a duck or an eagle.
We know that you show your Eagles pride through the bar here, right? Through the drinks. Absolutely. We know we got the green beer here. What else you got going on for us?
Our famous Eagle Teeny. It's vanilla vodka and creme de menthe, a little splash of cream, and it's Eagles fans' favorite.
Very nice, delicious. And listen, it's not all about the drinks here, okay? We're going to toss it to Senior here. What's going on, Chris Senior? We got some shepherd's pie here. Absolutely. What makes this so phenomenal for Eagles fans?
It's just it's the perfect winter, autumn food. It's very wholesome, it's festive during Eagle Week, Super Bowl week. And we
I'm
don't
terrible
really
at this.
do it in green. You've got good hands there.
I'm terrible at this.
You must be a football player.
Yeah.
Tight end or center? What word? His hands.
It's not like that, guys.
It usually looks like this.
Yeah.
But you're a brave guy to do food on live TV.
As brave as those Eagles, guys.
We're making you an honorary Eagles fan.
There we go.
All right.
We're here at Old McGillens, all right? It's going to be a fantastic time. I think the Eagles have a little bit better chance than those Chiefs, right, guys?
Well, Ike, you had the harder job. It's difficult to make green look delicious. And I mean, you know, then the whole, okay, all right.
So appetizing.
Anyway, we've got 5 days to get ready.
We are closing in. Have a great day, everyone.
Take care.